Hi, Soul Family. This is a public service announcement for all people who are connected to super sensitive empaths and those who don't understand what the hell is wrong with them. Yesterday in our Soul Family meetup, we got a few times that there was going to be an epiphany that was going to come, an idea. It was germinating. It was very, what was the word they used? It was very abstract, right? An abstract idea was going to come. I'm going to put you guys over here to light, and it was going to be really exciting. So in the middle of the night, I woke up from a dream, and I was shown just a bunch of different things. And I always follow my intuition. I follow all my hunches, right? So I was guided to go to there's a soul family member. I can't tell you because this is my idea that, you know, I'm not gonna say what my idea is because I don't want it to leak its power, right? Like the Spirit says, if you have an idea, you gotta kind of keep it under wraps because I don't need anybody jumping on it and taking it, or I don't want anybody naysaying it. I'll just suffice it to say it's not self-serving. It's exciting. So in that way, it's self-serving. It's exciting for me, but it's a way that I have figured to. It's a way that I have figured how to support and help other soul family members, right? It's brilliant. And it's interesting because one of the messages we got was, you know, you don't know how you're going to do it. How am I going to do this? I don't have the funding. How am I going to do this? I don't have the job. I don't have the car, blah, 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 right? And Spirit said, don't worry about how it happens. Just put the idea out there, right? Now, in my dream, they showed me doing this with my twin. But he's nowhere around me. And I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not going to worry about that. That just might have been maybe what I don't know. I'm not going to question Spirit. But anyway, so while when I got this idea, there was one particular person that made the idea come into like gel, right? Come into form. Glasses are just destroyed. And so I went to this person's page and I asked them a couple questions. And then while I was on there, you know, I was awake and I don't know, Spirit just said to look or scroll or something, you know, I don't know, there was something I was supposed to see. And I don't know why, you know, when you're prompted to do something, do it. Even though you don't know why you're doing it, there's a reason it's happening. These glasses are destroyed. So I did. And I came across something on somebody's page. And it was really upsetting for me. As I'm an animal empath, I'm a super sensitive empath. You guys know how it affects me when I see animals suffering or people suffering, but really in all reality, and I will be 100% honest, I mean, it's not like if I saw a person in front of me being tortured, it wouldn't hurt me. But I gotta tell you, my heart goes to the animals because we are their voice. They're the silent ones, or children, right? Ones who can't speak up for themselves, or people that are labeled like autistic children or super sensitive empaths who have hidden their gifts because they're made fun of, or, you know, people say, oh, you're too sensitive or whatever. Now, I have a platform. It's not a giant platform. I don't have a shitload of followers, but I have a platform. And so I'll use it in the way that is meant to help other people. And I was saying yesterday about, it came up in one of the person's messages, Icarus, who had to be willing to fly close to the sun and get burned, right? We had to be that way. Icarus flew too close to the sun, got burned, and, you know, fell to the earth. But we have to follow our soul's path, even if, and our heart, even if we have risked the chance of getting burned, right? So I was saying how, and the harpy eagle ended up being my shaman's totem, which is freaking awesome. And I gotta tell you, I told you how the eagle is the only one who flies into the storm and uses the storm to rise above, right? I'm not scared of you. I'm not worried about you. And if Spirit asks me to do something, I do it, and I don't care what you think. It's kind of like, I mean, I have yet to come up against something that I'm afraid to do it, if Spirit has told me to do it. Because if Spirit tells me to do it, they got my back. Now watch them. They're gonna give me an opportunity, and I'm gonna be terrified. But anyway, I already knew that was coming. I shouldn't have said that. So, I mean, obviously we all have fear, right? My point is, if Spirit asks me to do it, I do it because I trust them, right? I'm guided by them. So, yesterday I posted a few things, and one of them, and I talked to you guys about it, one of them was about the biker gang that goes and sits in the courtroom, right, to support the ones who are testifying against their abusers. Now, there was so much about this. There's something else I want to talk about really quick, and it all kind of goes together. Remember, I don't know if you guys, okay, they already showed me who it is. Okay, so Black Phoebe the butterfly. So there's a group of people that work, it's like the government, or that they park their ass online. And what they do is they watch people's posts, and they're watching for people who target children or target, that's what they watch for. Because there's people that molesters, or, you know, that gain people's confidence, and they do horrible things. They abduct women. They have, you know, women. They will meet me, and we'll meet up in this place, and so that's why they're there. They work all night long. Have you ever been online? Have you ever had friends online, and it's like they're online all the time, like night and day? It's their job. And I know this because I followed it for the last 7 years, and they seem to really target and want to connect with spiritual people, which makes sense because the spiritual people would gain the trust of the community, right? And like religious people, spiritual people. So there are so many, and they're all fake profiles, and they all sit behind their desk, and that's what they're paid to do. They're paid to talk to you and whatever, because they're trying to read you. Now, I was targeted a lot because why does she know the things that she knows, right? Because is she for real? Yeah, she's for real. But how does she know those things if he didn't tell, if somebody didn't say something? How is she aware of what's going on? Because she's connected, you fools. So I already know that that's going on, okay? So that's why I'm saying all these people on here, most of them are not real people. Most of them are maybe 1 or 5 guys sitting behind a desk, right? They all work together. So there's a group of people that are trying to keep somebody away from another person because they want that person in their job. They don't want them going off and, you know, leaving, getting involved in this. So I'm gonna just pass on that. I don't really care what they think or what they want. Just know that I know what you're doing and I know who you are. It's just stupid. So the thing, I'm trying to find the post because I have so many. Here we go. Burly bikers come together in court to help kids feel safe as they face abusers that hurt them. And they show up looking like badasses, right? And I said, so love seeing people use their clout in loving, supportive, and positive ways. Okay, so like I said, I've got a platform. It's not a huge platform, but I've got a platform, and so I'm going to use it in the way that I need to use it. So what I was guided to see was this person's post. And the post was, now this is talking about an animal empath, okay? And the super sensitives, because you might be, you know, that might be your job, and you might have, you know, all great intentions. Hey, I'm a cop, and I freaking, you know, this is my job, and I'm watching to make sure that these people aren't, you know, abusers. And I got that. This person has been stalking me, stalking a supposed abuser of someone else. They're trying to protect somebody from an abuser, thinking I'm somebody who isn't to be trusted, okay? And it could just be that that's been their job, so they don't trust anybody. And that's fine. That you've got to really, you know, I understand that, yeah, you're doing a good thing. But it's also caused a lot of problems. And it's caused you to become extremely jaded and mistrusting, which is not cool. So this person posted something, and it was a video of a dog dragging its body in a kind of a crappy area, right? All the cars just driving by, and it was literally dragging its stomach and back legs behind it around, and instantly my heart started, right? Tears in my eyes, and I thought, why isn't somebody stopping? And they said, kind so-and-so stops to help the dog. And I'm waiting, and I thought, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. So I fast-forwarded it to the end, where you see that the guy gets out of the car to help the dog, which is really cool of him, right? That one person was obviously a decent person. And he was a thug. He looked like a thug, right? But he was a good guy. And he goes to help this dog, and the dog sees him coming towards him, and he gets up and he runs away. And so by this point, however, I was already bawling. My stomach was in a knot, right? And I was like, and I looked at the people that made the comments, and I had already blocked them. I had already blocked those people. I thought, okay, block, block, block. Everybody who laughed at that was blocked instantly. But the person that had posted it, I said, who laughed at that? So I know who to block. That's the first thing I wrote, right? But then I went and fast forwarded it and I saw it. So I jumped to a conclusion because what I saw was upsetting, right? And now this is a message to me. I understand this. Somebody saw something and they jumped to a conclusion because what they saw was upsetting and they made a poor choice. I get that. I understand who I'm talking to. You're watching me, I know, because you stalk my page. So the difference between you and I is I spoke about it, whereas you just manipulated and hid it, and it was a complete disaster, and you've never spoken your truth. There's a difference between you and I. So, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying when I fuck up, I'll say something about it. So I said to him, who laughed at this? You? And I said his name, right? But then I went and I decided to fast forward it because it was going on for minutes. You don't, so this is the point, okay? He writes, so I deleted my comment. I still left those people blocked, but I left him unblocked, okay? Because I was giving him I don't know why, Spirit, because this needed to happen. So the person writes to me and says, good morning. This is at 4:16, which is when I got up to write down my dream, right? That video with the dog appears to be upsetting, but when the taxi driver gets out to help the dog stands up and walks away perfectly normal. The dog was playing the traffic, laugh out loud. No, he wasn't playing the traffic, because if you looked into it, if you even cared enough, and I do, when a dog acts like that, a dog that's in the street that is absolutely infested with fleas and mites, the fleas and the mites go to their groin because it's the warmest area, under their arms and their groin. It's excruciatingly painful. It's excruciatingly, like they can't do it. They can't scratch down there like we can. So it was dragging its body. It was in pain. It was hurting. It wasn't funny. That's not the only part. You could say, okay, calm down. He didn't know that. That's not the only part. And I didn't lose my shit with him until you watch. I said, yeah, I got it. The dog was playing the traffic. It is upsetting, and it's not in any way funny. I finally scrolled ahead to see why the driver took so long to help him to see the dog's final action. I deleted the comment on my end, possibly not before you saw it. And so what are you doing up in the middle of the night? Because it's your job, and you're a troller, and we can't stop the trollers, right? I said, I still blocked the ones who commented. I don't know why I didn't block you as well. Perhaps so that I could explain to you what happens to a supersensitive animal empath emotions to see an animal suffering in such a way. It doesn't matter, capital letters. Here, I don't like looking away from you. It doesn't matter that after several minutes of ripping my heart out, it turns out not to be what the person who recorded it and shared it knew all along, that the animal was okay, when in actuality the animal wasn't okay. The animal was suffering, but it wasn't to the extent that we thought, right? He knew that when he posted that. He knew that. And I said, that was intentional cruelty to me and anyone like me. It's the same as what a heartless, uncaring shit of a person would do to another human being in allowing them to think someone that they loved was suffering without making any attempt to reassure them and help calm them. I've had that happen as well. Both acts are heartless and cruel. And then I went on to share with him, but then I blocked him. I said, no. So then at that point, I went back, because we've talked for quite a bit of time. Me to send that back, him to respond, me to send it back, right? So then I went back to his page to see if he had deleted that comment, and he didn't. He left it up. He knew how it affected me. He knew how it would affect other super sensitives, animal empaths. He knew that it's kind of like when I was I don't know how old I was, maybe 6, 7. My cousin Garth, and who is gifted. Now this is another thing. This person, Capricorn, a cousin or a workmate of this person that I know, just leave me alone. I'm done with you stalking me. Okay, I'm not interested. So my cousin is gifted. He is connected to spirit, but he is not an animal empath like me. He's not a super sensitive. It's different. He is more analytical about the whole thing. He's more scientific, which is the way my mom was more, right? I am literally, it's in my heart. So we were out climbing around, my brother and my cousin and I, and they were up on top of this old abandoned building. And my brother was always torturing me. He loved to torture me, right? And he goes, Sherry, look. And he points down, and I look down and I see a cat lying there. And right then, as I'm watching, a brick slams onto the top of the cat's head and explodes in front of me. Do you have any idea what that did to me? It took me days and days and days to, obviously, I've never released it. It rips my heart out. And so people would say, oh, you're too sensitive. No, I'm not too sensitive. You are hardened and cruel and disgusting. And you need to understand that's not funny. It's not funny to do something like that. And when you tell a super sensitive they're being too sensitive, no, we're not. You're not sensitive enough. You're insensitive. So another message that I shared. And so if you think that I'm being too aggressive and I was too mean to this person, I'm using this as a platform. I personally don't know that person. And even if I do, he's pretending to be someone else. So I have no interest in that. So I've got a lot of people on my page that don't mean anything to me. I don't know who they are. I went and looked at this person's page and there was nothing spiritual on it. So there was no reason for that person to be on my friends list. So they're gone. Doesn't hurt me to disconnect from that. So now you may say, okay, well, what if that person was just doing their job and they didn't understand, and you were looking at it in a different way, and then I posted that other picture of the wolf. Fuck you, grass. That's you when you haven't meditated. So you might think, okay, wow. So what I got from this person is pissed off now that I blocked them and said that to them, right? They're thinking, God, one minute she's like this, and the next minute she's a freaking psycho. One minute she's all sweet and lovely and happy, and the next minute she's ripping my head off. Damn straight when you act like an asshole. Damn straight. Because that's not okay. That's not okay. So you need to tap into the fact that maybe people aren't like you. Yes, I tap into the fact and understand you don't have any feelings. Well, you need to respect that I do, and so do all of these other people. You are hurting children. You're supposed to be protecting children. You're hurting them. You're hurting them, and you're hurting an adult. So the isolated family member is usually the one who becomes awake. Why are we isolated? Because we're not like you. Because the things that you do and say do that to us. It's like a crown of thorns ripping at our head, the things that you do. So right afterwards, I got about 6 friend requests. I'm going to get her back in here, right? And now I'm seeing, run. Forrest, yeah, you better run, Forrest. If you're not loved, leave, right? You deserve a relationship you don't have to chase after. Stop chasing the wrong one, right? The right one won't run. I'm slamming doors on fakes. I'm slamming doors on people who don't understand. If you don't understand, then let me enlighten you, right? Which I did. I tried. And then that person still didn't get it. That person is not vibing on my energetic wavelength, and I don't need anything to do with that. That's toxic to me. I don't want any connection. So then right afterwards, there was another situation where there was a dog that was smiling. Let me find it. And it was talking about this puppy in their shelter. I mean, I gotta tell you, If I had land and I had the money, I would one by one go pick up every one of these ones that I'm finding that Spirit directs me to and adopt those particular ones. Those ones, because I'm being given, they're my messengers. They're connecting with me. So I got to tell you, that's why it's such a big deal. When I am sent, even if it's through, you would say, that dog's never met you in person. They don't have